There are 4 movements in the ankle. So the first one is what we call plantarflexion. So plantarflexion will be when we are pointing our toes down. So think that you're planting your toes. Another example will be when you're doing a calf raise. So when you're going up onto your toes, whether it's a standing calf raise or a seated calf raise, that would be plantarflexion. The opposite to plantarflexion would be dorsiflexion. So that's where we're pointing our toes up. Those 2 movements occur at what you call the talus joint. So the talus joint is where your tibia comes down and meets a bone called your talus, and it allows plantarflexion and dorsiflexion to occur. The other 2 movements happen in what you call the sub-talus joint. So the sub-talus joint is where the talus bone again, but it articulates on the calcaneus below it, and your sub-talus joint allows inversion and eversion. So inversion in particular, which is very common, is when you were to go over on your ankle. So think of the bottom of your soles are facing in. So that is inversion. And then eversion will be when the outside of your foot is when the sole of your foot is pointing outwards. Now, eversion is very rare. You don't really get eversion because of the ligaments and the structure of the ankle. However, inversion will be very common, and those 2 movements occur at the subtalus, whereas plantarflexion and dorsiflexion occur at the talus joint.